So the issue that Debbie and I have been going back and forth on regarding abortion is that you've taken the view that, gee, the pro-life movement here has failed because it has not convinced people that this is a human life. Because after all, you have to assume there's enough decency in people that if they recognize this is a human being, I mean, after all, these same people would not kill a human being that's a year old or 2 years old for that matter. And I made the point that, look, this is not a failure of the pro-life movement. The pro-life movement, of course, has been shouting from the rooftops that it is a human being. But now with the appearance of ultrasound and the fact that anyone who's pregnant and their families, they all go to the doctor and they look at the ultrasound and they can see what's inside and they can see the movement. They can, in some cases, see the gender, see the sex of the... And so the debate in that sense is over. And that means that at some level, people have to know today.
Right, which is why I said people are inherently evil. Because if you know and you do it anyway, what does that say?
Right.
You know?
So I think what happens in those cases when people do something like that that's really evil, they rationalize it.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult for someone to say, and this applies also to a police state, I am a villain. It's only in the cartoons that there's a certain tradition in literature where people embrace being a villain. Right. And they're like, I'm the Joker and they take pleasure. Or even Iago. Iago takes pleasure in being a villain. But in human nature is not like that. Human nature is like, I'm not a villain. I'm driven by necessity to do this. Mm-hmm. Or I'm doing something noble looked at from another point of view. And so let's say, for example, that people go, well, my own self-fulfillment and my own ability to care for my other children and my own this, all of that justifies what I'm doing. And so people develop a very cunning...
True, but there are a lot of resources out there. There's clinics. In fact, you're going to be speaking at a pro-life event next week, where this is a clinic that treats, the women from the very beginning. It also has child care, lessons in child care. It helps the women carry on after the pregnancy. I believe they also help with adoption. So I think that there's just so many things out there that you can do that you can't sit there and say, you know what? I can't have this baby because I can't afford it. I can't take care of it, whatever. When in fact, you can give it up for adoption and have someone else love it and take care of it.
I mean, given the availability of the adoption option, I think this makes no sense, right? I mean, there's no, even in the most extreme circumstances of, where someone goes, I was raped or I'm a victim of incest. And first of all, think of how rare those things are.
Yeah.
But nevertheless.
Very, very rare.
But the availability of adoption is like, okay, well, you don't have to live with that for your whole life.
Yeah.
All you do is you carry the child to term, give it up for adoption, go on and live your life.
Yeah. So I don't know how much time we've elapsed. Okay. So what I think we should, this is a subject that we should definitely talk about, further. But another thing that I wanted to talk about was, and that's a completely different topic, and that is anti-Semitism, the anti-Semitism that is going on right now in the world. And as you know, I get these alerts, and I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a preview of what I get. It's basically, it's called Israel Real Time, and
How did you find out about it?
So Seth Ornstein, our friend, connected me to this group.
Oh yeah.
And so I get minute by minute updates of what's happening, and in fact, yesterday, Netanyahu basically said, we are not going to do a ceasefire without the release of our hostages, right? So that's very...
because the Biden administration's been trying to put some pressure on him to do that. And then you also told me from the site that there were Jews from other countries.
Yeah, so they said that they're having a mass immigration from, Jews from other countries because of the rise in anti-Semitism around the world. So they are leaving, they're fleeing those countries and going into Israel. So they're having to account for all these people coming in, all these Jews coming in from all over the world because of this anti-Semitism. And
it's such an ancient grudge. Jews have been going back to the Middle Ages. Jews were thrown out of all these European countries, one after the other. Of course, the pogroms in Russia are part of the subject of Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
And so
and then this new thing that happened, this elderly Jewish man that was killed by this Palestinian protester, and I would say Hamas protester.
Now, I don't think did they intend to kill him, or
they hit him with a megaphone? But it was, under duress. I mean, they were chasing him, and they apparently stalking him. And so this is happening in our country, and it's extremely disturbing. And again, we could talk about this in another segment, but it's just, to me, I just don't understand how people.
Think about this. The difference to me with regard to, say, people talk about Islamophobia in the wake of 9/11, but in the wake of 9/11, the radical Muslims launched the attack. It's sort of understandable that when a group of people in the name of Allah do that, people go, I don't like these people, right?
No.
Whereas here.
No, you just don't understand it unless you know Bible, unless you understand the biblical foundation for anti-Semitism. And I think that that's what makes it so incredibly,
that the Bible envisioned it, predicted it, and here 2,000 years later, it's
still happening.
Still going on. Mike Lindell just keeps on introducing great deals. He's featuring the all-new MyPillow My Towels. Save 50% off on the 6-piece towel set. Regular price $59.96, but now for a limited time only $29.98 with promo code Dinesh. Debbie and I have Mike's My Towels all over the house. We love them for ourselves, but you know what? We also like to give them as Christmas presents. So there's an idea for you. My Towels 6-piece set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths. The towels are just really amazing. The long staple length of the Sherpa cotton fibers make them very soft. Because of the long fibers, they wrap around each other more easily, creating a smoother and softer fabric. It's soft to the touch, but without the lotiony feel, it's also super absorbent. So take advantage of the 50% off on the 6-piece towel set. Call 800-876-0227. The number again, 800-876-0227. Or go to mypillow.com. Don't forget to use the promo code DINESH Dinesh.